Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, happy Saturday, wherever you are in the world. You are watching or listening to USA Global TV, where very soon we will be celebrating our first year anniversary, and our graphics will all include our new logo, our new intro, our new music. So stay tuned for that. Our show today is presenting pet psychic Amina. And if you've watched this show before, you know how much I love to present her. And our topic today is why foxtails are dangerous to dogs. And I have to say that when Amina had suggested this topic, I really thought it was the tail of a fox. And she sent over some pictures today. I was like, oh my, I have a lot to learn. So hopefully you will be learning with us as well. Let's welcome, as I present, Pet Psychic Amina. So hopefully hello. Let's welcome as I present, I hear myself twice. What's going on?
I know. I'm trying to figure out if I have two windows open and I can't find it.
You must have two windows open. I'm going to silence you just for a moment. Okay, so while she's working on that, if you are familiar with foxtails, if you know what they are and you want to comment, please put it in the comments so that you can play along with us. How's it going? Oh, still there. Okay. Technology, we have to love it. So, okay, she's working on that. I'm going to wait for her to give me the high five when she's got it figured out. Oh, sorry, figured out. And then we will continue on. Okay, she's working that out. So on this show, just so you're aware, not only do we talk about training tips for animals or communicating with animals, two of the areas that Amina is very passionate about and have made a big influence in my life are coexistence and sustainability. It's about all of us on this planet respecting one another. So why do we have the right to be here and a mouse doesn't? Why do we have the right to kill animals or insects? Why? And why do we have the right to drop trash? Why do we have the right to just order food and not eat all of it, or not recycle, or continuously buy new clothes and not go to a thrift shop, for example? These are topics that Amina is really passionate about. And so coexistence and sustainability are frequently brought up here on this show. Today, as I mentioned at the beginning, we're going to be talking about foxtails and how they're dangerous to dogs. And let's welcome Amina back to the show.
Thank you so much. There's only one of me this time.
All right. I love it. So I just told the audience that frequently we talk about coexistence, sustainability, training of pets, all kinds of topics that have to do with pets, and also the bigger picture of us all respecting humanity, nature, etc. So tell us a little bit about foxtails and what they are.
We are coming into the season, and so many times we forget to talk about those things that we see every day. If you have any grass near you, especially if it's wild, if you have any fields of gold, I happen to have an entire mountain of it because I live on top of that. And you are going to run into foxtails. They are universally all over the world. They are all over the United States. They blow in the wind. And we're going to show some pictures of it, hopefully. And you are going to find out the hard way that animals die from this. They can go into cardiac arrest. They can lose toes and fingers because they get infected and they chew them off. I've actually read about, I'd never experienced it while I was in the vet clinic, but an animal actually chewed his paw off because it hurts so bad. But what's terrible about these weeds is that they're tiny, and hopefully we're going to be able to put some pictures up later, but they're very, very tiny. They're smaller than, think about a needle and thread, and it's the needle side, and it will come into their toes. It'll get stuck between the toes, and then it'll dig in. And it has, like a fish hook, it has the what do we want to call it, the little barbs going backwards. So once it goes in, it's almost impossible to get out. 90% of, that's probably conservative, of pet owners don't catch it in time until their pets are really, really suffering with it. Can you get them out? Yes. Is it difficult? Yes. Is there damage? Yes. but they're heading to, and I am gonna own a little bit of fright here, because we tend to not do anything unless we see an emergency. This has the capability of running straight to their heart. It will kill them. They won't just lose toes. This is a really, really big deal, and we're coming into the peak season. So what are you going to do about that? You want to manage your weeds. You want to manage the green. You want to get out there with a rake, not a leaf blower. Not a leaf blower. There we go. And depending on where you are in the country is what these will look like. So I'm lucky I was able to find an entire page of it. I've put all these links out for Dr. Jacalyn, and we're going to try to get some of them up. And also, I have an article coming out where I've just pictured just the flower part, what we're looking at, the little fall over. They're cute, they're fun, they're lovely to dry, like people do with cattails. And they dry them and they put them in a vase in their home, or, you know, sunflowers, and you can dry them and put them in the vase. No, nobody dies from any of those. I guess you could eat too many sunflower seeds, but nobody dies from that. You will die from this. Your pets take the risk of dying from that. So if for no other reason, not for the world, the breathing, the fact that it's an invasive species in most places now, not where it originated. And I can't imagine the people, how they're dealing with it in the original places that it is, that these lovely little fuzzies that look so cute are deadly. They're deadly. They can burrow into a person's skin too. This is not exclusive to pets. But what's the difference, Dr. Jacalyn, between us and the pets and the contact with this plant?
Well, pets are dependent upon humans, upon people to get treatment or have something happen.
What's on these paws?
Fur?
Well, yes, but we wear shoes. They do not.
Right.
So this is how they're getting into the system. Not only does the fur brush along the bushes as they walk, and so they're attached to them, so it'd be great to brush your dogs out. I don't care if they're double coated, single coated, zero coated. Look at your dogs when they come in from walks. For every reason, glass that you didn't see, little bitty shards of glass because somebody broke a bottle, they cleaned it up, but shards are microscopic at some point, and they are going to go in. I can't tell you how many times we all grew up in being barefoot all the time. If you weren't running somewhere wearing tennis shoes or something, we were barefoot. We were barefoot all the time. So I know my sister got an infection. It was terrible. I don't remember all the details. I was too young, but I remember how many doctor's appointments she went to and how many times she had to get it lasered or burned or something, and she had to wear special shoes for a long time and all that type of stuff. So what I'm trying to do is say, if you haven't heard of this terrible weed, please, please, please be very careful if you get the ornamental dry stuff. Some people put it in a vase and they put it, like pampas grass comes with these beautiful plumes. And that's great, but know the risk you're taking. And that's what we're educating about, is maybe you haven't thought about it. Maybe you didn't know. So please, now you know. And what you need to do is mow it. And there's lots of articles online, lots and lots and lots. And I could have thrown a million out there. So I'm not. I'm going to put up some links on my own. And we're going to have this to here on the show to get you to start and saying, how do I know if I have it? Well, if you go to any garden store, just call them and say, do we have this plant? Do we have this concern? And they'll say, oh, yes, it's on the north side, it's on the south side, or it's closer to this city or that city. They'll give you that great information. Am I a Roundup fan? Not for our environment. Roundup is a wonderful product and kills all kinds of things. The problem is it kills the insects with it. So we're creating another problem by killing this plant, if that's what you're going to do. So What we do, and I know in a couple of areas, is they get out there while it's green. And if it's green, it's soft, it's easy, it's pliable. It's not like straw. It's not dry and then the seeds are blowing everywhere. Because imagine, especially we're going to be talking about probably an electric mower. I don't know very many people who have push mowers anymore. My dad had one his whole life because being one of the exercise. It's what coaches do. So they're going to shoot out some of the grass that the machine is picking up. It doesn't pick up 100%. That's not practical. I don't think any machine does. And that would be great if they do. So you're going to leave some seeds behind is a point. It's going to be a process. If you have this plant or somebody brings it into your state and it takes over, it's going to take years and years to get it all gone. And you're going to constantly have to be diligent with it. So that means mowing, catching it before it goes to seed. Plants all give off their own seeds. You see the sunflowers, they're stunning. And all those seeds that we love in the middle. A lot of people eat them. So this plant has to be caught now. That's why I'm talking about it now. If you know you have this plant, please, while you've experienced the moisture and the rain and any of that nice stuff, cut this stuff out. And if you can, go at least a couple inches deep into the soil. But you're going to have to do this year after year after year. Because if you're cutting all, let's say you're on a small piece of land, less than a half an acre, and you're doing your job, but neighbor on the left, neighbor on the right, neighbor on the front isn't, then you're going to have a battle for basically till they do it, till everybody gets on board with doing it. And believe it or not, I have seen neighbors each take a rotation, especially the ones that are on rural communities, and rotate that through. We, on the hill I live on, and I'm talking a really substantial hill. It's really, it's a mountain. It's not a hill. We actually bring out sheep. So every year we get to hear for about 5 or 6 months, bah, everywhere you go. Everywhere you go up here. It's just hilarious because some of us are doing live like we are. And then all of a sudden you hear this echo. I think, Dr. Jacalyn, you might have heard it last year. And we both started laughing because there's nothing I could do about be quiet.
I know it happens.
My windows were closed. And do you remember this? It was last year. And all of a sudden you're like, I could see your face. It's like, uh-oh, she hears it. Oh, no.
You know what's funny, believe it or not, Janetta Barry, who's one of our team members, she's in Kenya and she has hyenas outside of her window. So we hear them all the time.
Yep.
A guest we've had on recently has tree rats. Today, somebody's dog came on the show. I mean, I just feel like, our family's expanding. We welcome all.
Yeah. And it's just hilarious because there's nothing you can do. You can train a pet to death, but not the neighbors.
Right. Yeah. Not the neighbors, but pets you definitely can. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Something I want to say about this topic that, of course, I'm always learning from you. I've seen these foxtails before blowing in the wind, and I had no idea whatsoever that they were dangerous in any way.
Well, and do you remember when we were kids, we used to take something just like them and put them together and pretend they were scissors?
I don't remember
we did
that.
We're bored in the desert. We try anything.
So when you think about how to prevent the weeds, you just talked about the neighbors, et cetera. I know you had shared before that you can actually take some kind of tarp or something.
Yeah, if you have the ability to smother them, basically. They're not getting any rain. Now, remember, rain comes in feet. So that's why you can tarp as much as you can, and then you gotta deal with whatever is not in your ability to get up the hill or get down the hill. I've actually seen cities, literally, we were having a lot of rain. And if you go through California, we have a lot of freeway that has big, really huge mountain hills that they've either created and or are natural. They will put plastic down. They have sheets of it to protect the soil from eroding. So what I want you to do is take that same theory and smother these plants. Just cover it up. Go to anywhere you want. Go to Costco and buy 7 million garbage bags. Hefty, whatever you want. And you literally just cut them at the seam, flatten them out, put them on the ground. And what you're doing is you're preventing sunlight and moisture. What do we grow on? Sunlight and moisture. So if the seeds are in the ground, it takes years to do this diligence. It's not like, okay, we do it from September through March. No, it's got to be over that ground. I have seen people who have sadly gone through having one surgically removed. So what it does, it can get in anywhere you want, fingers anywhere, and then it burrows down in through your skin. It's excruciatingly painful by then because your body's trying to reject it. So you've got an infection. You probably, if it's gone too long, it'll cause a fever because your body's going to go, oh, heck, yeah. So we're talking, it could kill you. If that motivates you, great. But it will kill your pets also, but quicker. They're closer to the ground, so they have more contact with it getting in between their toes. And if you look at these plants with the pictures I've said, and go check my Facebook page. I have all the pictures up there too. Is these are very needle-like. The whole point is they want to survive. So they have the needle-like point to get in. And then they have the, if you want to call it like, you'll see gills on fish, you'll see different things on different animals so that they have the modality. So they're trying to get in to your body. Now they don't know that you're not another plant or dirt or whatever. This is the way they were made. And in the world, they would have burrowed into the dirt and then grown again, made more. Every living thing, vegetable, oil, mineral, carnivore, herbivore, everybody wants to survive and create again. So this is the point. Going through and taking raid or Roundup there is going to kill everything. Weeds, flowers, plants, and the residual of a product that sprays and or a liquid that you pour on is that it poisons the soil, it poisons our atmosphere. And I am completely able to own that I use this product for years and years with all the acreage I have owned, worked on, because I didn't know. And that's why it just pushes me harder to say, please, please don't use this. Please don't use this product. All our honeybees are in serious danger because of this product, and it's devastation to their habitat. And the ladybugs and the birds and everybody, because it's poison. And this poison cannot be regulated because we all don't want to pull weeds. And that's, I did the same thing. I didn't know. So now you know that these foxtails will really, really give you a very painful medical bill, person or animal. Remember that. So it's time right now. The plants are up. They're green. They're not yet, shouldn't be yet. We're really getting close to the point where they dry and then they blow all over. All they need is a little bit of a breeze. They blow all over and they replant. So let's say you have 50 yards of any kind of invasive species. You could have 50 plus 25 next year, and on and on and on and on. Again, what they do for our big old hill is they bring goats. It's the best thing, everything. The goats are herbivores. They eat all the bad stuff and the weeds and around. And guess what? They stomp all over it. And we get new and rich soil with the feces. And the farmers get natural grazing time for grazing animals. It's a wonderful, wonderful process of everybody getting what they need.
Thank you so much. And I have a question for you because you are all about coexistence.
Mhm.
So I'd love for you to just share on the other perspective when we're talking about wiping out the green foxtail, and then we look at coexistence. Where's the justification?
Well, because it needs to grow where it comes from. And it comes from so many places. I can't just say, oh, it's in Venezuela or it's here, it's here. But when the world was not us, the world managed these things every day. There weren't too many lions eating too many deer who ate the grass. So what we've done is we've killed a lot of the lions, so now there's still too many deer, and it won't eat all the grass, and or the grass has gotten bigger because we have more or less sunshine, we have less rain. We have humanity. I'm a part of this. We have created a negative environment. Something is missing. If you look just at the endangered species list, I'm going to do that. I'll write myself a note. I haven't looked at that list because it's too emotionally damaging for me. But that doesn't mean I don't need to know. And we'll think about that for next Friday. Because if we understand how many animals we've already completely lost, and I'm not talking about the caveman days or anything, I'm talking about yesterday. I'm talking about the day before. We might not like mosquitoes, but that's an article I keep telling you, I'm gonna read up. Just in California, I don't think mosquitoes. So as soon as I leave the show, it's like I'm on to the thing that happens with 90% of the people I'm dealing with. Mosquitoes isn't under that. The point is we're causing more of these mosquitoes, more of these plants that are invasive, more detrimental to our life and our animals and death, which this plant does, because we either have decimated the animal that would have eaten it, depending on where you are. It could have been the bunnies, could be the deers, could be this, that have the teeth, the lips, and the palate. And if you see deer, they're standing pretty tall. Yes, they sit in the grass. But animals are very, very, very good, God-given good, at saying that plant's healthy for me to eat, that one's not. They teach their young this, and this is why it's so important for herds and packs and moms and dads in the animal world to teach their young what is safe, what is not safe. We don't have that education anymore. So where these seeds would have been managed naturally is all gone because of the way we've built the world. With all the buildings, with all the dirt we kick up seeds out of there. So we have moved what should have been managed by nature and created a problem for ourselves and our pets.
I really appreciate that you shared that you are part of it. I'm part of it. We've all been part of it, but some of us are awakened and realize that now that we have the knowledge, the education, we are empowered to take action.
And it starts wherever you can. I'd rather you start than do nothing. So let's say you've got a small piece of grass out in the front yard, just small, something right by your walkway or something like that. Check it. Make sure it's healthy. Make sure you're not using Roundup and you're not using other chemicals that hurt. When you spray a chemical like Roundup, it goes out in the breeze. So you're killing the tree down the street and you're killing the neighbor's sunflowers, and you don't know. You don't know because there's no control over that. And I can't imagine we're all going to get, eyedroppers and go, well, look, I got just my plant. But what's in the soil? What animal did you kill? What earthworm didn't make it? We have to have earthworms. Earthworms. I would think in the name it was, but we don't think about it because it's inconsequential to our lives. We think, and you can tell my whole talk and my whole time that I'm with you, I want people to know that we are a circle. Humanity, animals, nature, air, twigs, anything. We are a circle. There's no gap, there's no broken, except for what humanity has created. Me, you, everybody, we've all had a part because we didn't know. This is where you get the education. So you can say, well, but what about? Well, what about this? Because there's plenty of meat eaters. There's plenty of vegans, and there's a plenty of this. Nobody has to be all right and everybody else is wrong. I really believe that we can coexist with our planet, but we have to care to listen to the experts and listen to the books. And that's what I do. I research these things. I find out what's going on. I see what's on social media and I'm going, oh, okay, well, we got to talk about that. And Dr. Jacalyn, you know, I've switched topics and we've gone a different direction. And I truly believe that happens organically because somebody needs to hear something that I had not planned on talking about. So I'm really, really fortunate to have a very broad education, not only hands-on, but also in a college education. And actually working with wildlife since I was 9. So it gives you plenty of time to go, oh, wait a minute, that's not what we used to do. That's what we do now.
Yeah, here. I love that. And we do have a comment. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring this up. Hello, Asif Khan. Nice to have you with us. Thank you.
Absolutely. I hope that's your shepherd we're seeing.
Yeah.
Beautiful picture.
Very nice. We were talking actually on another show about the fact that we really, since we are talking about coexistence and you are pet psychic, it would be fun to have people come on with their pets. I think that would be kind of neat.
That would be wonderful. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Bring anybody and we can ask questions. And everybody asks, what's it like to be me? And I don't think we've talked about that in 100 episodes because I can't believe we're over that many. But, but it is every person. Now, you can't say this about plumbers probably, but if you talk about teachers and coaches and all of that type of stuff, we're all very different. That's why you don't want any coach. You don't want any pet psychic. You don't want any psychic at all unless they resonate with where you are at in your life as far as explaining it in a language you can understand. So for me, I'm not for everybody, and I'm going to learn a lot, and I'm going to ask a lot of questions because a relationship with your pet is coexistence. If you don't even know what they're saying, and I don't mean he did something the other day, blah, 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 and I don't know what he meant. That's different. If you don't know what they're saying, meaning you don't want to even try to make an effort, I truly don't believe a trainer, a psychic, or any pet professional should step in and just hand it to you on a platter and say, okay, this is a pin, and you got to put it over here, and then you end the light. And if you are young, if this is your first pet, yes, we will start there. Absolutely, we will start there with you. But we want you to come along with us and make changes. No teacher wants to teach somebody Spanish or how to write for the first time if they don't practice. And then they come to you about, well, how do I make an F again? How do I make an L again? It's like we went over that in the last 3 sessions. So same with working with us. We want to know that we will make a difference in your life, but you have to meet us halfway.
There it is. Call to action. I love it.
Yep.
I thought of you earlier this week. We had on a show, The Art of Creating Mental, no, it wasn't that one. It was Global Adventures and Janetta Barry's show. And on there we had a woman, Moira, who has been to Antarctica, and she went there on a boat, and it wasn't a cruise ship. It was, It was a boat with 70 some people, very modest accommodations. And she took the most amazing pictures. She's an artist and she draws what she sees. But the point I'm bringing up is the area was pristine because it hadn't been tampered with by humans. We hadn't gone there yet and done our damage. And to see the icebergs in their glory and to see the penguins, it was just truly beautiful. And it actually, it kind of brings tears to your eyes when you think about all the damage that we've done across the world.
Yep. And I still get to hear every day, either digitally or in real life, some conversation, when you're in the grocery store and all of a sudden somebody doesn't care what they're talking about and everybody listens because you're right there in the line or something, or the booming voice. It is, well, that's not up to me. That's not my responsibility. Why do I care? Any version and degree of that, I have to be careful with it. Murder is not one
take a few breaths before you speak.
Take deep breaths, breathe, think cat. Oh no, they have nails. Think dog. Don't kill the pack. Because and I've embarrassed my children a million times because I'll see somebody struggling with their pet, or I'll see somebody who I know, because I have to remember I'm an empath also. So I can feel that when I'm walking by. And I've literally walked by some pretty scary people and I'm like, whoa, I don't know who that was, but I'm moving to another lane because it's like, I don't want to know, because we can, and it's not a bad day. It's not somebody who's just angry at something that happened. There's a whole difference in energy. We can be angry that whatever, I spilled milk all over the floor. Now I have nothing to eat and it's all my fault. But then you lash out on everybody because you had this bad day. That's different than you're a murderer and you're professional thief or some other machination you plan to do wrong somewhere in the world. That's a whole different energy, and we can feel the difference. Don't invade anybody's privacy by walking around going, "Oh, how do you feel? How do you feel?" It's a little overwhelming. So you learn to put up guards and you learn to put up barriers and protection for yourself. It took me a while to learn that because I'd never worked with so many people all at once. So when I came back to the Bay Area, I was working with groups and doing a lot of public speaking again. And it was like, oh, wait a minute. If the audience hates you, we all know anyway, if you're a speaker, as Dr. Jacalyn, you probably experienced, she's like, they didn't like me anyway. But if somebody truly means you harm or evil, or, I've met people that are just like, oh, I don't like you at all. It's like, okay, you don't have to, but I also don't have to be in your presence and take on that negative energy. So I want people to say, I'm here to cheer you on. If you start weeding and getting invasive species out of your side yard, your planter, whatever, it's a start. Nobody learned to walk the first time they tried. They fell down. I'm not expecting everybody to run out. I'd just like you to start doing something now that you know that we are the entire cause because of the way we have treated products and landscape. We are all one. We're having droughts everywhere, not just the deserts, everywhere, because we don't have enough of the cycle to create the moisture to create the rain. And then everybody starts talking about, well, now it's acid rain. Well, then we don't want that either. Please, we are a cycle. We're a circle. And it cycles around and around and around. And I just want you to get on and say, okay, I'm going to buckle up really tight right now until I figure out where my feet go, where my hands go. But I'm going to go. I'm going to try. And if you just plant one native plant for your area, just one, and you keep it alive, guess what? If you enjoyed it, or you decide you need a different kind, or you want to go to a different modality of helping the earth, great. But you tried. Losing, not having it come out the way you think it's going to, is not you failing. Okay, I need everybody to hear this. It is not you failing because you played the game. If you go out and play golf and you bring a friend and they end up winning and you don't, go play again and again and again until you get better and you get to a place where you feel like you are winning. Because what happens if you're the greatest long distance putter? You can shoot a golf ball how many ever feet? Hopefully farther than that. But you can't absolutely, when you get on the green, you never can get the ball in the cup. So you're good at distance, but not good at it. Wouldn't you want to practice until you could do both? So that's what I'm asking is pick something small, like this weed, that will kill your pets. And it's absolutely invasive. So it doesn't need to be there. Without chemicals, that means you need to go out with a hoe, with a shovel, and literally pick it all up. We used to use those big, giant garbage bags, the plastic ones. I'm not a fan. They make them biodegradable now. When I was doing this about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't have those. Put the weeds in there, and then they're managed. You go up, you tie the bag, tie off. You've got all the seeds combined and confined in that bag. And then it's not going to get lost when it goes to the trash and possibly a landfill somewhere. These are the small things I want you to start noticing. Yes, you can pick up a piece of trash off the ground. I got family members and friends. Oh, well, I didn't throw it there. Why should I pick that up? Like, why not? You can wash your hands later. Because I still have people who, that's gross. Why'd you pick that up? Why didn't you use a Kleenex? I said, well, right now I didn't have a Kleenex. But you can use a Kleenex, pick it up. But I would rather pick it up because that's who I am than walk by it and say it's somebody else's problem. Because we have enough people who are saying it's somebody else's problem. And it costs me nothing. And what a lot of people don't know is I struggle from herniated discs extremely. My life has been very active and I'm paying the price for it. So bending over for a piece of gum wrapper, something small like that, can put me on the couch for 6 hours. But it's more important to me to do it because it's what my hard work is. I want you to find yours. And I encourage you. I'm cheering you on. Yay! And you can write to me. You can join me on social media. I am on LinkedIn and Facebook. I limit where I'm at, and I do these lives. I want to do shows that you want to hear about. And this is up and coming. So I wanted to talk to you, everybody, about their pets and keeping safe. If not, avoiding this nightmare plant altogether. Because if you've never seen it burrow into a dog's or a cat's toes, it's really painful. It's really, really painful to watch them go through this and then the vet bill that you get afterwards.
Once again, another really important topic that I wasn't aware of, and there's probably some people out there who weren't aware of it either, and now we are aware. So now we know what we need to do. And I'm just really enjoying the fact that we have our next topic for next week, endangered species. I think that's a great one as well. And I think at some point we may bring some pets on with some pet owners.
Ooh, yay! And we can have our little sign behind us go real.
Yeah.
Mine squiggled too much. One already passed through. I was like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? But again, you never know. I've talked about Emma's addition to our family. We got her over a year ago and thought, oh God, 3 cats, both of us working. And she's been the joy of our life. And she's been the joy between these 2 cats. So you don't know what struggle is going to make you a better person. And guess what a better person does? Is happier. And then you can do what you and I are doing, and our whole team here, the whole team. I'm lucky to have seen 99% of their shows at least once and say, everybody's here to donate their time, their money, their ideas, and share and say, I want you to know because you'll be better for it.
Absolutely.
And everybody does that. So thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. I honor you in this new year that we're coming into, that we're just so fortunate to have a platform that's so uplifting. And we can be funny and we can be weird, and which I hope I bring enough of that for you.
Yes.
And enlighten you into things that what's right in front of you. Like, plants are in front of everybody.
You just have to open your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. Smile and nod. Yes, they are.
Yeah, for sure.
But that doesn't mean you understand why the plant or not the plant, or what's the big deal, why they're putting plants on freeways and highways. Highways, you'll see that all over the world now. We've been going through horrific fires again. But the point is, we need those trees and those plants, not only to us to breathe air, because that's the circle, but it also retains the soil. So we don't have it coming down. Highway 1 is very famous. It goes up and down our coast, and it has more avalanches than anybody wants to see, because when they first cut it and when they went through is they just cut the soil up, straight up, put the highway down, said, okay, we're done. And then it rained.
Look out.
And it's just like, we didn't think about that. How much better are we building homes? How much better are we doing cars, now electric, and doing these other things? Because we're like, oh, gasoline's bad. Yeah, dead dinosaurs. Really? Who thought of that?
We're waking up. There are people who are awake, and there are people who are still sleeping, but they have an alarm clock.
That's a nice word for those deniers.
Yes, they're going to wake up at some point. And until then, keep tuning into our program and learning with all this education that you are providing. And we have your information there, but for people who can't read it, or they're on a radio or podcast platform, how can people reach out to you?
One address. I try to make it really simple for me and for everybody. Bridging, BRIDGINGWORLDS.US. I'm on Facebook as Bridging Worlds. And if you can imagine, Bridging Worlds is just this. I want to bridge the world between what we know and what we don't know. As of this time in the show, I have really morphed it into that. But Bridging Worlds originally was bridging the gap between what we as humanity, people, and the animal kingdom need to come together and meet on that bridge. But now it's expanded, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, to me getting to talk about coexisting and the planet and what we can do on bigger bridges, on worldwide bridges. But that's why it works for me. That's why Bridging Worlds, it's self-explanatory. Most people get it, especially if you've ever heard me speak.
It's a great name, and it conjures up exactly what the meaning is. So
I hope so. Yeah. I got a couple of questions with when I first, I belonged to all the business groups, as I'm sure you did. And we got all together, and everybody's like, Bridging Worlds, what? And I said, well, I'm a pet psychic. So what I do is I tell people what's going on with their pets. Oh, Bridge, I get it.
Ding, 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 ding.
And when I was in New York, I made sure that I took I don't know how many bridges are in the park in Central.
No idea.
Central Park? There's like 50 or something. So I think I got almost all of them. And I have yet to use all those pictures. But I watched a movie, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago that was based in New York. And I went, oh, I've been on that bridge. Oh, I've been over that bridge. Oh, now it's you. Because they're very artistic.
Yes.
They're very, very unique. Each bridge is very, very unique. And I had already started Bridging Worlds and had already gotten that logo. So I was like, I'm going to find the right bridge. And I've decided to leave it metaphorical because it's too vast to just have one bridge. Because if I chose a structure, I would actually choose wood because it's more organic, and hopefully you'd have lots of trees and plants and things around it. But that's what I want to bring to everybody, that the world is organic and you can be loved and love and still play tennis and still have a hamburger once in a while.
It's not
it's not either or.
No,
right. It's not either or. And not here to judge, but here to encourage.
Yes.
You know, if
Amen
you
to
throw
that.
your gum on the street, yeah, I might come get you. So you're doing right
Now
in
she's
front of me.
coming for you.
We've all seen it done. We've all dropped some trash and didn't know it. I think that severed me. I think I did it like 6 weeks ago, 10 weeks. What it was recent. And I was like, oh my God, where is that piece? And my dog's like, calm down. I said, no, because you don't realize that little piece becomes that big piece.
Yes.
And I don't want that problem. So I wad up those things in my pockets that don't have holes. So and those are the simple things we can all do.
Yes. You're
Throw your
part of the
cup away.
solution.
Use a reusable cup. We have a lot of those, especially our water bottles and things. They're all chemical free, and that's better for your body. Can you imagine how healthy we'd all be if we all loved and took care of our planet? So I'll leave the weekend for everybody to do that.
All right. Think about it and come back and see us again next week when we talk about endangered species.
Absolutely. And if you Google the plant we talked about today, or you want to see the pictures, they're on my page.
All right. Thank you, Pet Psychic AMINAH. Thank you, everyone. Have a good
great
weekend and come back and see us again. Bye.
Absolutely.